Hello, welcome to Double Talk. I'm Mark Steffen.
And I'm still Michael Mandel. There's our names underneath. No? Okay, now they are.
Yeah.
So you were talking about how do you teach suicide bombers stuff? Is it true they get kamikaze pilots who failed the first time?
Well, you know, there aren't too many kamikaze pilots who survived, but there is at least one that I know of. He missed the plane, he missed the ship he was trying to hit.
And hit the water?
Crashed in and he lived. And they fished him out of the ocean.
And then he had to commit harry-carry because
prisoner.
It's embarrassing to not fulfill your mission.
You tend to lose face when that happens.
But you lose face when you're a bomber.
And so, anyway, yeah, he survived, and good for him.
It was just we just finished a conversation that started prior to the show, yes. So we could also talk about the Don Rickles' 88th birthday show that was on earlier this week.
I missed that, but I hope to catch up with it.
It's on, what did I say, Spike TV?
You know what's wrong with this show, Michael?
This show?
Yes. Here's what's wrong with this show.
Where can I start?
We have more interesting conversations before the show than during it.
Yeah, because they're interesting to us. But here we're continuing.
Nobody at home
So
wants to hear
the
this
Don
stuff.
Rickles, Don Rickles is basically he doesn't tell any jokes. He just disses people. Although it comes out pretty funny. Pretty darn funny.
He's not as funny as he used to be. I actually saw him on stage perform when he opened for Sinatra, and he wasn't funny at all. And I was very disappointed with Don Rickles.
Well, he's not. Unless you're being dissed, he's not funny. You have to know the people he's
He wasn't funny. This was 1978.
Anyway, I'm guessing that Spike TV will be showing reruns of this show for a long time.
So
hopefully you catch it. Hopefully you guys catch it.
Speaking of TV shows, you can do your own TV show.
We are, aren't we?
Right here on Channel 98, we do our own TV show.
Anybody? They'll let anybody on this show? We
Obviously.
prove that point.
Yes.
You can do your own TV show. You can have a topic. We talk about what do we talk about?
Anything we want.
Stuff we like, and we also talk about local events. We talk about current theater. We talk about cultural things happening.
The arts, whatever's going on around here
booze.
that affect the lives of
We
the
haven't
people
done a
in this
booze
county.
tasting in quite a while. We talk about people's knees.
This is kind of our contribution to the culture of Las Cruces, basically.
Yes, so obviously it can use a lot of contributions.
And,
you could do a show just like this if you had those
two
chairs
pretty girls
and legs like that.
You could do that.
You could do that. We do that. We have legs like that, and but we don't shave them.
What do you mean we?
Excuse me. I guess you do shave them.
So if you want to do a
They're
show...
very pretty.
Thank you.
I think we should get rid of this table, and we get a lot more viewership, with your shaved legs.
If you want to do a show here on Channel 98, it's simple.
Call
First,
them up.
You have to decide what you want to do a show about.
Yes.
You could come on. You could come on here and sell stuff. You could sell your car. You could sell. You have a yard
You'll
sale
have to
here.
do that. It's like
you do a flea market here on the show if you wanted to.
If you sell things like all those pyramid schemes, sell a pyramid scheme thing. Well, we like architecture.
It's got to be legal.
Yes,
but that's it. That's about it.
That's about it.
You can't be
plagiarize. You can't take
libelous.
media from other things. But you could go to info at lcc98.com.
And do your own TV show.
Yes, but now we're going to do our own TV show.
Let's do it.
I think. One of the bigger things we had talked about last week was SunZia. There was a lot of controversy. And I know a lot of Democrats and liberals, and I would think I would think that's what arty people get into. I would think liberals would be happy to see an electric transmission line that uses solar non-organic power, and it wouldn't matter what they did. But since they were going across the White Sands Missile Range,
the north end of it,
a lot of my liberal friends were saying, "Oh, you're going to cut jobs. Oh, it's a big thing." So they solved that problem this week, didn't they?
I guess they did. They're going to bury 5 miles of it underground as it goes across the missile range. Then it'll come back up out of the ground on the other end.
Does that sound like a big problem to you? It doesn't seem like they should have made a big deal about threatening to close down a third of White Sands Missile Range.
Well, that never was going to happen.
5 miles. No.
There is a transmission line that cuts across White Sands Missile Range as it is, and it runs parallel to Highway 70. You see it there as you drive to Alamogordo. That never became a big deal. Why would this one become a big deal?
I agree. And even burying 5 miles, you could do that. The thing is, they close traffic when they're going to do a shoot, right? And they turn the switch off to the electricity thing that's parallel.
Do they?
Yeah.
No, they don't.
They don't?
No, they need to do more than ever.
They probably do to shoot that stuff up. So SunZia is going to be a go. I'm pretty happy because I believe that solar energy and whatever wind power energy should be the mode of the future.
It's better than
I just heard somebody moan. You know, you want to burn gas?
It's better than that oil pipeline you want to run across the country.
Yes.
It's going to leak oil everywhere.
As well as the fracking going on in eastern New Mexico. Are we going to get a lot of letters here saying that? Well, we'll see.
Well, you know how many letters we get.
Well, you know, it doubles every so often. Sometimes it triples and sometimes it quadruples.
And they all go to you.
Well, that's because I'm accessible.
Accessible.
Yes. Anyway.
They're letter bombs. But whatever.
Well, speaking of, yes,
now,
bombers.
Well, speaking of transmission, that's very close to transportation. And we
I thought you were going to talk about how you're going to transmit diseases, you know, to all your dates. But no, we can go in the direction you want to go to.
Thank you.
Yeah, transportation.
The new rail facility hub is opened up in Santa Teresa.
That looks
They
pretty
moved
nice.
it from El Paso to
They're still going to
Santa
keep
Teresa.
some of it open in El Paso. Apparently, there's a lot of freight going back and forth in this country. Actually, it just goes forth.
I live next to the railroad tracks, Michael, and believe me, those trains are running constantly in both directions.
Well, you know, you're a hobo and live next to the train tracks, so hobos could move away from the train tracks.
I live in Hobo Jungle.
You don't have to live next to the train tracks.
How else are you going to catch a ride if you don't live next to the tracks?
Oh, that's true.
So the
I'm glad you made it to work today.
The $400 million facility opened way ahead of schedule. It wasn't meant to open until next year.
And Susana Martinez was there opening it, and it'll be a boon, I suppose. Not to us personally, I believe, and perhaps not to Las Cruces.
What kind of trains are going to be running on that thing?
It's basically
no,
like
not that kind of train.
Freight trains.
No, not a bullet train.
And not passenger trains either. You know.
Yeah, that's the kind of train.
Yeah, probably. You've seen them. Anybody who's traveled Highway 10, you're always trying to outrace them, and you can usually outrace them.
Well, they're pulling a lot of weight.
Apparently, the freight trains don't care when they get to wherever they're going, unless they have something perishable.
They're on a schedule. They know how long it's going to take them to get from point A to
I
point
was
B.
talking to a train guy saying, gosh, you know, we got to have one from El Paso up to Berlin, where they can tie in.
You mean a passenger train?
A passenger train,
that would be nice.
That would be fun for the people. You know, stuff goes back and forth across the country. That's mostly important to people like who own Walmart or who own stores that have to sell product. But us regular people just like to go somewhere. It'd be great to get to Albuquerque and not have to drive the same stupid road for 3 hours.
Well, if you could ride the train, you could get things done while you're riding. You wouldn't have to drive.
Yeah.
It's a much smoother ride. You can get up and walk around if you want to.
Hang out.
How cool would it be to take the train from El Paso to Denver?
It'd be very cool.
Like it used to be.
In the old days,
before
we had
do
all
that.
these cars. Did you ever do that?
Yeah. I took the train back all the way to Kansas City as a kid.
Back to Kansas City.
From Las Cruces. I caught the train in Las Cruces. We took it to Kansas City and St. Joe, Missouri, Chicago. Yeah.
Well, I'd like to visit Kansas City.
I had a grandfather who was a railroad engineer.
That's pretty cool. So your dad was an engineer, wasn't he?
No.
I thought he was a scientist, engineer scientist. He wasn't a railroad engineer.
Yeah, he was an inventor.
An inventor. Well, the train had to be invented.
Yes,
anyway, so the rail facility is open. Apparently it's going to produce around 600 jobs, probably, taking it from someplace else. So that's pretty good.
But it will attract more jobs as companies build up around the tracks.
That's true, to do transactions.
So they can make things and put them right on the train at that point.
So it'll be an explosion of business. I think that area had an explosion recently.
Well, they already built a new hotel down there for the rail workers, and there's an eatery there for them. And so it's building up down there. In fact, we should go down there, take a trip around, take some footage, and bring it back to show everybody.
We could catch the train right here at the train depot.
Yeah,
the train depot museum. We just go there, buy a ticket, and go down to. We just want a ticket to Santa Teresa. It'd be good to be able to not have to spend your life driving around and you get someplace. So it'd be good. So the explosion also can occur in the biodiesel sector, apparently.
Well,
because in that same area of the country.
That's a diesel engine.
Yes.
And there was a biodiesel plant down in the southern part of the county also.
Anthony apparently
caught fire.
And boomed. isn't biodiesel like what Oklahoma City blew up from? Remember, they had a bunch of manure and some other chemicals, and that's kind of...
Was it spontaneous combustion?
I guess it was.
Yeah, let's look. Let's see what that explosion looked like.
Yes. Producer, what's next? There we go. It created a mushroom cloud over Anthony. And then everybody went and tried to collect the mushrooms.
Here we are from a distance.
They said it didn't cause any poisonous stuff. It was totally healthy. But then again, Anthony has a lot of other health issues. So,
because it was in Anthony, there was no damage.
Yeah. So yeah, because you know they don't count those people in Anthony. They could blame it on one state or the other. Remember, Anthony's the city of 2 states and the home of the famous leap year festival.
Every 4 years.
When does that happen?
Well, when is leap year?
I don't know. What year are we in now? 2014? Probably 2016.
I bet it is.
Probably 16. It's
election
divisible
year.
by 4. Yes.
So I guess it's every election year.
George Harrison will be there if he weren't there. No, who is it that has what famous guy?
Graham Nash.
Graham Nash was born, or his wife was
Graham
born.
Nash was the Grand Master of the parade. I saw him there. Goes back 10 years, though, I think.
Is that a real photo of, or it's just a random photo?
It.
Man, that's pretty cool. Makes you want to live in Anthony for their, big explosion.
You've heard of the movie Hiroshima Mon Amour?
Yes.
Anthony Mon Amour.
We could do that. We just grab one of these cameras when nobody's looking and we go shoot a movie. Hiroshima Mon Amour has nothing to do about the bomb.
No.
It was just the interior. Wasn't it an arty movie?
I thought I'd make my own sequel, call it Nagasaki Mon Amour.
You could do that. Because you were talking about sequels. Yeah, I'll write the script.
Oh,
I don't think there's any talking in the whole thing.
We were talking about the movie Tick, Tick, Tick with Sidney Poitier. And what film is that a sequel of?
You had to tell me. I don't know.
In the Heat of the Night.
In the Heat of the Night. Although nobody ever saw Tick, Tick, Tick. Did you ever see it?
No, I never did.
That's because it's not a real movie. You made it up. You can go now on Hulu. I'm experimenting with Roku. Roku is for $50. You can go get a Roku, plug it into your TV, and if you have to have Wi-Fi, and you pull it out from your computer, and you can get all sorts of crazy channels. I'm not quite sure how good this is going to be. Stay tuned to see how Roku works. I don't want to, diss Comcast, but Roku gets crazy stations. People do their own stations. You can get old, non-copywritten movies, things that are from the past, TV shows, all sorts of things. So it'll be, people keep talking about the alternatives to cable and dish. These things from the internet are out there, and
now this graphic's been up there a long time. This photograph it's a subliminal thing that this show is bombing.
No, people know that overtly. You don't.
They already know that.
Nobody has to tell you that. But you've heard of Roku, right?
No, I have no idea what it is.
ROKU.
They've come out. It's on the internet.
They've come out with. No, you have to buy the. It works off the internet. You have to buy a little machine. You can also get. It's called Google Chromester. $35 apparently does the same thing. You can get Hulu Plus. You can pay for channels. You can pay for Showtime and HBO.
And still, there's nothing on.
Well, the thing is, when you have a regular TV like Comcast, at least you can look and see what's on and try to get it at the right time.
You wind up watching a show like this, Michael. That's what's going to happen.
No, this is what happens when there's nothing on TV. You end up watching a show like this and you go, where has this show been all my life?
Yeah.
I find it answers all the questions I've had myself, and these guys are so knowledgeable. But we're going to take a break now, and when we come back, we will tell you other alternatives to watching TV.
Plus, we'll talk about the election.
Like taking a nap.
Coming up on Tuesday.
Yes, election's coming up.
Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
I suppose we will.
I'm sure we will.
If you're living with diabetes and have Medicare or private insurance, here are some great news. Call United States Medical Supply today, and we'll send you the smallest glucose meter in the world, absolutely free.
It only takes a speck of blood, and it gives me my results in 5 seconds.
And there's no coding for easier, more accurate results.
Don't let diabetes get in the way of living. Give us a call today at United States Medical Supply and get the smallest meter in the world for free.
Get ready, America! The Affordable Health Care Act is here, and it's got everyone asking, how do I find affordable health insurance that's right for me? The answer is simpler than you think. Pick up the phone and call I Can Benefit right now. Waiting for you is a team of licensed insurance agents who understand healthcare reform and can help you find the right plan to take care of you and your family's health. Don't wait. Call now and get the answers you deserve and a price you'll love.
Call toll-free 1-800-426-2163.
Celebrate, celebrate, Fiesta Motors.
Come and see us today and discover why our service is second to none. In business for over 17 years, we have the right car for you. When you buy a vehicle from Fiesta Motors, we do everything possible to ensure your satisfaction. Located at the corner of El Paseo and Main. See you there.
Celebrate, Fiesta Motors. Where buying a car is always a celebration.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Burke, and I have a confession to make. I have a serious crush on my workout. Hip, fun, and always a challenge. Jazzercise is the total package. It's the only workout that I've ever truly loved. Does it show? That's because I'm in the best shape of my life. What a difference Jazzercise makes. When's the last time your workout swept you off your feet? Find a class near you at jazzercise.com.
When you have credit card debt, the debt suckers' high rate and high pay are everywhere.
They're making another minimum payment. Great. Most of the money goes to us.
One call to Consolidated Credit can get the debt suckers off your neck.
They lower his rates and consolidate his bills into one low payment. Consolidated Credit drives us batty.
Call Consolidated Credit now.
'Cause debt sucks.
Call now.
Call Consolidated Credit at 1-800-530-4571. Call now.
Seven. Count
And we're back
with counting. We counted down to our show. Thank you, Count.
You're watching Double Talk right here on Channel 98 as we count down.
You're using your announcer voice.
To Election Day.
To Election Day, yes.
June 3rd. On Tuesday, we're going to vote.
It's only Election Day if you are registered to vote in the primary, which means you have to be registered as a Democrat or Republican. You can register as a Green Party or a Libertarian, but nobody cares.
Well, that's a shame, Michael.
You actually can't register as a Green Party.
In the state of New Mexico, you have to belong to one of the two political cults to vote. And if you're like Walt Rubel of the Sun News, the managing editor,
yes.
He can't vote because he's a registered independent.
I don't know if you register as an independent. You just don't register as anything. You just
no, when you register,
you're an independent, but you can be any darn thing you want.
Well,
so why don't the independents have their own primaries? Because it's not a thing. You know, elections are about making a decision. And if you can't make a simple decision about two options that you have, Republican or Democrat, it's fairly simple, Republican or Democrat. There's a lot of controversy. You usually lean towards one or the other. It's like, you know, you can't be bivotal.
Why does it have to be one or the other?
Because it's an organization that makes things easier to get through. It's a system that vets people out.
I think the two-party system is
if you can't make a choice, one or the other. The two-party system is terrible. Then go to France, where you have the 80-party system.
I like that.
And you have a bunch of factions. And what usually happens is those factions join together to be one or the other.
No, but I don't think
they do. It's just
because you don't join one of the two cults, that shouldn't prevent you from voting.
You're not prevented
from
voting. You're prevented from voting on things that are based on the two-party system.
Not in other states.
It's a two-party system.
Only in
you
the
can
state.
vote. I believe that the people that you might be voting for that are not on either party would be the Green Party or the Libertarian. Those guys are going to get in. You don't have to vote on it because there's no choice. Why don't you go to Green Party meetings and say, oh, I want to run against this other guy who's running for something. Then I don't know if you are a Green Party or a liberal.
I don't want to run. I just want to vote. And I may not like the Democrats. I may not like the Republicans.
Well, then what's your choice?
Anything else.
There is no choice because anything else means that those people don't have not taken a side. The whole thing about voting in an election is you take a side. Well, I don't like what this guy's doing.
I don't want to take a side. I just want to vote for the person I want. I'm not taking sides.
That's so iffy. That's so ridiculously
no, it's pinpoint,
idealistic.
It's laser
vision.
No,
it's not laser vision.
Laser pinpoint.
Name somebody who you want to vote for that's not on either party. Go ahead.
They're not running because they can't in this state.
They're not running in a primary, but they'll be running in the major election.
Well, I'll have to wait and see what happens.
Oh, right. So it's a wait and see because you never act on one thing you want to do. It's not hard to choose liberal or conservative. If you have conservative Democrats, you have liberal Republicans. Not so many, but you can make a decision within that.
I do, and here's a sample ballot that I picked up.
Yes, so you're going to say who you want to vote for. Let's hear. If you were signed up, because you're too wishy-washy to make a decision, you haven't signed up. But if you were decisive and signed up, who would you vote for?
Yeah. Well, a lot of people sign up for a party and then they only vote that party line because
you could vote outside your party line.
Well, they don't.
You don't have to. You can do whatever you want. It's an almost free democracy.
When was the last time you voted for somebody that wasn't a Democrat?
Lots of times.
Name 3.
I don't know any of them.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I voted for Susana Martinez.
You did not?
Oh, that's right. Maybe when she was a Democrat running for... Oh, she couldn't run for county or the attorney because...
She's running for governor.
No, when she was the attorney, ran for attorney.
For DA, district attorney.
DA.
She was district attorney.
Yeah, she was a Democrat prior to that.
She used to be a Democrat.
And she changed
But she wanted to become governor where the money is to become a Republican if she got all the money.
That's how that works.
And that's how she won the race.
Okay, so let's hear what your choices are.
Well, this sample ballot has Republicans on this side and Democrats on this side.
You know what, let me just see this. On the sample ballot, under the Republicans, the only thing that's really a contest is the United States Senator.
And the sheriff.
And the sheriff. That's
everybody else is running unopposed.
Right, so there's not that many Republicans.
That's the way it is with the
Democrats
Democrats
not
too.
having there's a lot of people. There's a lot of things, that are judges. There shouldn't even be a party about that. But
if they're running unopposed, they don't need your vote. They're already a shoo-in.
Well, make them feel better if you voted for them.
But for governor, we do have 5 Democrats running against Susana Martinez. You've got Howie Morales. He's from Silver City. Mm-hmm. You've got Alan Weber from Albuquerque. You have Lawrence Rael from Albuquerque. You have
Gary King
from Albuquerque, Santa Fe.
Yeah.
And you have Linda Lopez.
Where's she from?
The Albuquerque area.
A lot of Albuquerqueans.
So,
it's the biggest city.
We're endorsing Alan Weber for governor.
By we, he means him. Oh, actually, I agree with him.
Yeah, you voted for.
See, I'm agreeing with you.
Okay.
And that's a Democratic thing. That indicates that you just voted for a Democratic governor.
I would have, yes.
Okay.
And when he runs later in the year, I'll probably vote for him in the general election.
If he wins.
Yeah. Then we have.
Who else?
Well, state treasurer.
That's an important thing.
There's 2 fellows running for that. You got Tim Eichhorn and John Wertheim. I know both of them. They're both qualified for the job. It's very hard to pick one. You voted for Tim Eichhorn, didn't you?
Well, you're not required to tell, but yes, I backed him.
And so I'm nullifying your vote and voting for John Wertheim.
You can't nullify my vote because you're not even voting in the primaries.
No, but I've already told somebody else who to vote for, and they're going to vote for him.
Oh, well, that's good if they make it in time. Well, you know what? You get a day that you don't even have to go vote, so that's pretty lucky. My voting, I don't know. I know something about these people, but not a lot. So I went out to the community of, left-wing liberals, and I got their opinion. And they all agree.
With you? Or with
they
each
all
other?
agree with Tim, whatever.
Tim Eichhorn?
Eichenberg.
I met most of them on the campaign trail probably 10 to 12 times.
Although, actually, for governor, a lot of them were for, I think...
Howie Morales?
I think it's split on the people, Howie Morales and Lawrence Real. A lot of people like Lawrence Real.
I do, too. He was the city manager of Albuquerque for 12 years. He was also instrumental in putting in the rail runner
If you
train.
notice, Weber has already had TV ads on.
He's the only
one that had ads. It shows, some sort of...
well, he's also got the most money of all the candidates.
And
he's a millionaire.
What wins elections, doesn't it? Yeah.
Now, there's another contested race, and that is for public...
what is it?
Public Regulatory Commission.
That's
the PRC.
They get involved in a lot of controversy.
They do?
Yes, they do, because
the utilities.
There's a lot of stuff
charging
going
utility rates and all that stuff. There's 2 people running, Mary Lee Souls and Sandy Jones. Now, Sandy Jones used to be on the commission.
Yes.
He got off to run for something else, and now he's back trying to get back on the regulation commission. And Mary Lee Souls, it's her first time running.
Yes.
And I endorse her.
And so do I.
For that position.
I like her. Not only are we endorsing her, Sun News is endorsing her. A lot of the ecological things in the state are backing her. So she has a lot of backing. What else you got there? We should move.
There's another contested race for Magistrate Judge Division 3.
Yes, it's hard to say, but we've got a lot of feedback positive for Beverly
Jean Singelman, Paul Joseph Rubino, and Canty Alkett.
And
now, this is going to be Beverly Singelman's last term. She wants to get elected for 4 more years, and when that happens, she will retire. And so I'm all for just keeping her there until that happens.
I think she's been doing a good job. The other one is Wellborn versus Norm Osborne.
Wellborn and Osborne running for magistrate judge.
And they were both born, and they still are.
Yeah, Wellborn had a little cloud over him recently.
He went missing for 2 weeks, but he's back.
And he wouldn't say what
no
was
explanation.
wrong.
We're for Norm.
Norman Osborne.
Who else? Billy Garrett. We're all for Billy Garrett against. I am.
Who's running against?
Arturo Uribe
from Mesquites.
And you're voting. You're saying you're for Childress.
For sheriff. There's 5 people running. 5 Democrats running for sheriff. 2 Republicans running for sheriff.
I don't know anything about sheriff, but I got word that I should vote for Stewart. So that's what I'll do. We're going to finish up with telling you what's going to happen this weekend. A lot of things.
Sun Valley Micro Music Festival,
which is a weird thing. It is, because we don't know much about it. You can go online.
It's electronic music.
ZIEHR link. It's 2:30 today at the
Saturday,
which is Saturday,
out at the fairgrounds.
Yep.
People there listening to electronic music.
$25.
$25 seems steep to me, Michael.
It seems steep, but there's a beer garden. Last week I went to the wine festival. That was $17, $20 at the door. Free wine, great tastings. The best thing is to go to the D.H. Les Combs tent and for $10 get the paired wine and food tasting with good wine.
Who else is going to be here? We got Jeff Dunham.
Jeff Dunham's going to be here June 15th.
That's in El Paso, though.
Yes.
He's already played Las Cruces.
Black Box is doing a little thing, No Business Like Show Business, tonight with the singers from Into the Woods. And this week opens up. Oh no, next week opens House of Blue Leaves.
House of Blue Leaves.
Oh yeah, that's Jeff Dunham. House of Blue Leaves. And next week also, that's at the Black Box Theater. And next week, Ruthless starts, which is a John Gere movie. It was a movie, and now it's a play. It's supposed to be really funny. What's that from? That looks
that's Into the Woods.
Into the Woods.
That's
coming later in the year.
Yeah.
House of Blue Leaves is directed by a friend of ours, Tom Smith.
Well, Tom Smith. Well,
yes.
Let's go to House of Blue Leaves.
House of Blue Leaves. No, Into the Woods. We're going to have to cut because I think it's time for the show to be over.
We're about out of
Hopefully, call us if you have any questions on any of that. And I guess there we are. We are down to the black hole, and pretty soon our show is going to say, we'll be back next week to clarify anything you may have questions about from this week. So
that wraps up another great episode
from Mark and I.
Perfect television.
There it is.
Don't forget to vote.
Fade to black. Fade to
credit.
that.